Hi guys, so continuing on with the Diamond Press reviews, I went through the Mega Marker Kit and I did all the swatches and things. So I have it here, of course, like I had mentioned before, Diamond Press did send it free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. So I hope you guys are having a great craft day, picking up lots of fun goodies. There's just a lot of great stuff from everyone. But I want to show you again. You know what? Actually, I wanted to pick up a couple things. Hold on. I know this is too big to fit in my frame, but which is kind of interesting because my frame is like almost 19 inches wide. But there we go. I'll let you look at this. In the last video, and I did get the question kind of often, so I'm like, okay, at the very end of the video, because I didn't have swatches at the beginning, I've been using these, so I just kind of put them back in here. I tucked them in, I didn't put them back in. I didn't have the swatches to show you or to compare, but these are new alcohol ink marker colors. So if you're not familiar with this set yet, if you hadn't seen the unboxing, I'll go over them really quickly. Diamond Press brought these to HSN for the July 13th craft day, and they are a smart deal, special buy. They call it something like that. So now I do know the pricing on it and stuff, and basically it's just a really good deal. So that's why it's the smart buy, or however they call it. So what I want to show you is that, okay, we have our oil pastel colors. It does come with all these different things, all these pockets, and I've had a lot of questions already, so I'll try to remember what the questions were. I think I might have already responded to most of them, but if you can see in the back, there are some extra straps. There is a pocket on the outside of the case. The case comes in black and in teal. So like the white accents you see here, you'll see in the teal, but the teal is all around, you know, wherever you see black on this one. Let me pull this out really quickly. We have some stamp sets, and I kind of went through them the other day. That's why they look a little out of place. I just put them in there. It comes with a nice size acrylic stamping block, and this can also be where you would mix like your oil pastel mediums. That's kind of how I used it the other day. There are, I think, 10 card bases and 10 envelopes. And let me place this back in here. I do want to just tell you again the number of these things, and I think we're going to get a little artsy today, guys. I want to show you something else that I did earlier today, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So we do have 41 of the alcohol ink markers, and they're set up so that you can use them very easily in light, medium, and dark. So, you know, I want to use cherry, I'm going to pick out light, medium, and dark. And the way I color, and some people start with the dark color first and then go backwards, is I do the lightest one first, then the darkest, then add some medium tone, and then go back over pretty much everything with the light again. And that's just how I work it. It does have the black and the blender, but I'll have the link to the unboxing in case you haven't seen it, so you can check all that out. The pastels, there are 14 of them, and they are really pretty colors, so I'll show you the swatches again, but here they are. Again, these pastels are really creamy, really soft, really nice. I mean, I feel like they're more like a mousse, like even softer than a lipstick. They're just really nice, maybe like a lip gloss, if that's, but you can't open it up, and it's nice and clean because you can just hold on to this instead of like a little piece of paper that might be wrapped around it like we're used to with the pastels. So we have that, and they are water soluble, so I'm going to play with those today, so we're going to see all about those. In my mind, and this is why I like to open things and just go for it, because I've been thinking about, okay, how, after I did the swatches and, you know, what, I just overthink things, so I like to just open them and start playing. So right now, I think I'm going to do something artsy, and hopefully it'll work out. We have the dual tip markers here, and that's these guys. There's 15 of them, and you can see a whole rainbow of colors. And Diamond Press had sold these before in a pack by themselves, so these are the same colors, I believe. And they're water-based markers. Again, you can ink up your stamps with these, you can use them as watercolor, you can just write with them, just draw with them, just color with them. I'll show you something in a minute that I worked on this today, or that I put out today. And then the gel pens, there are 50 of them, and I went through these in the unboxing. We have from, you know, just your regular creamy colors. I used this earlier, again, I just popped it back in there. That's typical. I'm sure I'm not the only one who would do that. Just get it back in the case. So your creamy colors, and I forgot to mention the last time, there is a white gel pen, and they have a really great white gel pen, so that's really nice. And then, you know, your basic colors, all your rainbow colors, just beautiful. And then shimmery metallics to like glittery pens are in here. So earlier today, or you know what, before I start talking about that, let me grab the other swatches. So I wanted to show you, again, just because it seems like people hadn't seen the end of the last video, the unboxing, I did compare these colors with the original 40. So this is the original 40, you got your OG right here, and these were the colors. And I don't have names on them because, you know, I mean, there's like a set of red looking ones, so that's what that is. I just didn't put the names on these, but maybe I should go back and do that. But this is the new set, so again, we can compare them. Other than black, you know, they both have black. The blender comes in this kit. The original kit didn't have a blender. And then I kind of let you see the new colors. So this is the older kit, the original 40, and this is the new ones. And then you know, we talked about you can even mix and match these tones together and make even more matches in your color families, right? So I hope that gives you an idea. And I had mentioned that this new set had more of what I would consider like skin tone and maybe some hair, you know, coloring. And so I'll show you what I mean by that in just a minute, because I did make a project earlier today, or I keep saying I made a video I put out earlier today where I used that. So the alcohol ink marker, so we'll look at that. The oil pastels, again, I put them on just nice and thick. I tried to smear it with my finger, and then I used water, and all the ones that are here are done with water, and they look really soft and pretty, just the prettiest like watercolor look. And they are pretty much, you know, color fast after they have dried. You just let them sit out your project. And then these are the water-based markers, and all I did was just take the marker to the paper and then added a little bit of water on a surface and picked up the color that way. And that's what that lighter area is. And then they have the writing area, right, the fine pen on the other side. So that was more fine. And I think that's, yeah. So what I'm gonna do, before I grab some paper and we get started, this is what I had worked on earlier, and I wanted to show it to you because everything that's colored is from the alcoholic markers from this set here. You know, the blue, that sapphire, so pretty, and then the red is the cherry colors, and the yellow orangey, I think I used sunflower, light and medium for most of those things. What else? There's some green in here, which is the grass color, and the gray I used the ash dark and light. And then to get the little shimmer on the little lights, I used the glitter pens. So after I had colored them, I went and just grabbed that gold glitter pen you saw, and I colored in the little yellow bulbs, I colored in the little red ones, and the little blue ones. And then if I didn't have a color that I really needed, like this right here was actually just marker from the water-based markers. So I just kind of filled in whatever gap I might have and did it that way. So I just want to show you guys that, because right now we're going to get a little bit artsy. I'm going to try to use mostly everything in here, but I think it's really going to be the oil pastels that we're trying out today. All right, let me clear the decks. And yeah, when I worked on that project, all I did was bring this whole middle section out, because you can take this whole thing out. Sat on my couch, and I just sat there and worked on my project. All right, I'll be right back. So I have my markers, my whole pack just sitting over here next to me. Might be casting a shadow there. And you know what? I picked this up last month, the Diamond Press Stamp and Die Kit, the Tile Alphabet, and I haven't gotten to use it yet. So I think they're still available on HSN. I'll have the link there for you guys if they are still on the site. But this is the Tile Alpha, so basically you're supposed to take this and then you can cut your little letters and you can do all this kind of fun stuff like right here, which is really, really cool. And I might still use the letters, I might use it a different way, so I'm going to be a little bit, like I said, more artsy here. But what I was focusing on is using these because they're nice big leaves. And I don't have a lot of stamps, I think, that you can just like color on, because there's lots of things you can do with basically these kind of oil pastels or art crayons or however you want to call them. Sometimes art crayons are a little more stiff. But anyway, that kind of thing. And I've shown you how to do some different things in other videos in the past. But today, I think, so it comes with your cutting folder forgetting I haven't shown this, so I want to show it. It has all the, oh, it has the upper and lowercase. That's so cute. I thought it was all upper. And then numbers, and then some extra, you know, words to help you out to make your card or whatever it is that you want to use it for. So today what I'm going to do is actually cut some foam with these and cross my fingers. I've been thinking about this. I'm like, oh, this will work. Yeah, for sure. I do have some scraps of foam here. What I'm going to do is make these work as stamps. I think I'm only going to use the leaves. I might bring in that middle part. I want both leaves, I suppose. Why not? Maybe I'll do this one. I don't think it... Well, we'll see. And then I only really need like one size of flower, because I think what I'm going to do is just do a quick little stamping, see what happens. So this is just regular old craft foam from like Walmart. And I'm just going to cut that down. I'm going to run this through. And the same thing with the other pieces. And we're going to make our own stamps basically, but I'm going to use the oil pastels on these. So what's funny is the card base I'm going to use, not the card base, but what I'm going to actually do my project on, came off of a different card that I had before. It's like watercolor paper, and I wanted to mount that on something else. If you guys recall, I think it was a Freeform Friday, maybe a busted out Wednesday type video. So I cut this off, but I still have this piece of watercolor card, so I'm going to cut this down, and then we'll use that to get a little artsy. I think that's going to work. Look at that. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to cut out these other 3 shapes, and I'll be right back. I cut down my piece of watercolor card to 4 by 5 1/4. It doesn't have to be a watercolor card. It could be any smooth card or a mixed media paper. Or try it out on regular cardstock and see what happens, because when you get artsy, it just doesn't, you know, you just kind of do what you like. Use what you have. That's how I see it. So I'm going to place this down because I'm going to get a little messy, and I'm trying, fingers crossed, to keep this. I'm crossing my fingers a lot today, apparently, to keep the surface that I've been using nice and clean. Okay, so let's see. And you know, whenever I make like a foam stamp, I like to just mount it on like a block, and I just use like repositionable adhesive. There's still some on here from the last time I ever did that. So I just have some repositionable adhesive. I'm going to try to put quite a bit because I don't really know where this is going to hit. And try to stick it down as well as I can. And if you hear the TV in the background, you might hear a little HSN because I like to watch on the craft days. All right. I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to start with the flower, and I think we're going to do a little just stamping like down here and up here, right? That's always pretty. So I'm going to bring out, okay, sorry about that. So, you know, I have my colors here. I have my swatches even, so I was kind of looking at that. I think I'm going to do purples. So I'm going to take the lighter purple and the darker purple for this guy. And then I have a water brush just with water in it, but you can just have a brush with water on the side. And okay, so to get started, we're just going to take our little guy, and I'll open both of them just to have them ready. It's not that big a deal. It's not going to dry while it's, you know, sitting on here. But I think, see, it moved on me just a little bit. So that's what I was saying. I've tried to put plenty. Oh, you know what? If I want to use that center, I don't have to color that. I can just leave it. Okay, that's what I'll do. It might get in there a little bit because we're being artsy, but I'm not really filling in that middle part. Okay, so I have that. And I'm going to use it again because I don't know if it's going to be enough what I put on here. And I'm not pushing it real hard, you guys. I don't know if you can see. I'm barely just kind of adding some color here. But if you want it, I suppose it'll be more intense if you go a little more. I don't know. And sometimes you can just stamp just like this. And you can do this with a regular stamp, an acrylic, clear acrylic stamp, or however. I just wanted to have a big surface that was full, but you could spray this with water. That's just a little more messy, and it might get a little more artsy, but that's okay. Sometimes you can stamp it dry. If I was going to stamp it dry, I would have put a lot more, like really caked it on there. So now I'm going to take my water brush and not have too much water, but enough to, let me get, it looks so pretty already. Wow. Enough to do this, and we'll see how it goes. Ooh. Okay. I haven't squeezed it again, but if I feel like I need to squeeze it, I will. And if you think you want to preserve more of like that dark and the light area, just wipe off this guy before you go to the next one, you know. Again, I want to make sure I have enough water. Wow, it's melting really nicely. Oh my gosh, guys. And if it does pull up, let's say you put too much water, you can just dab it or just leave it. Because when you go to stamp it, it's just going to look that much cooler. Let's see what happens here. I'm trying to spread that one out a little bit more. Did I get everything? Okay, let's try. And I am putting some off the page, so... Ooh, because I'm going to come in and do that separate anyway. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'll leave it just like that. And I'm going to add some more color. So I'm going to do that again so I can stamp this other side. Now it's wet already, so it's reacting a little bit differently. And you can also put this on a surface and then bring it over, you know. I don't need to refresh too much. So I'm going to do the same thing again, just add some water. And then I'll stamp that again, and then we'll do the same thing with the leaves. Like I said, I kind of left that middle open because I'll come in with that guy. Oh, sorry, I was out of frame a little bit. Had some emergency vehicles passing by. You know, if you want to keep reusing this, maybe you wash it off or just leave it there for the next time. However you want to do that. I'm going to put it to the side for now. And let's go ahead and finish the flower, and I'll do some orange and a little bit of yellow. I don't know if that's going to matter. Let me make sure that's dry, and let's stick that there. And I'll put a little yellow in the center and a little orange there. And let's see how cleaned off this is. Not too bad. See, quite a bit of water came out, so I'm just going to pick some of that up because I don't want it to be that wet. You know what, since this one's real juicy, I'm going to put it down here because that one's already kind of juicy as it is, so I'm going to put it here. Aww. Cute. I might even add another second coat on that one. And not too much water. Pretty cool. Like I said, I might add a little more to this one just to darken it up. And all I'm just refreshing is what's on here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I was going to wipe it off. I just wiped it with the towel. Okay, let's do some leaves. Okay, sorry, I thought the EMTs were coming through again. So, we have these two greens and then one that's more teal, but I'm going to use these. And same thing, I'm just going to come in, add a little of that, add a little of this. Try to manage my water. So I think we're going to stamp with some of the water-based markers, and then we can do some accenting with maybe some of the gel pens. Okay, that guy is juicy. And I like things to look really natural, so I wanted to just kind of go off the page, but if you want to use a little more of that paint that you put on there, then you can put it towards the center. Look at that. Okay, and that's the bigger leaf. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go through and again add a little color, add a little water. I didn't even really refresh this one, I just added a little more green. Let's see. Let me put it right down here. Pretty. I'll do the same thing with the little guy and I'll put them here and here. Okay, I'm going to really close. I'm going to back up. If you want to build up with more leaves, you know, that's up to you. I think I'm going to leave it just like this. That's really pretty. Okay, so let's put that to the side. And one other thing we can do, I'm going to take this black, and this would be better if I did this with like, with the brush was just water, like dipping into a bowl of water, because what I'm going to try to do is get this, yeah, there we go. Let's get a little messy. That's what I am going to take a clean area of this and take up a little bit of that water because I don't want too much. Okay, I'm going to do it again, but this time with a little bit less water, if I can. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to take this and just do some stamping. Let me see if that's a little bit wet. Alright. So I'm going to put a precision press just in case I need to do it twice. But again, whenever you're being a little bit artsy, it doesn't really matter. You can just leave it like that. And I think I'm going to write, what, hello? I was thinking about love. You know, whatever it is you would like to write. Let's do... Let's do hope. Just a fun word. Peace. Wouldn't those, that'd be cute, right? And I'm going to do all the little capital letters. And I don't want them to be straight, so I want it to be kind of fun. Let's start over here. Let's go here maybe. Something like that. Okay. And I'm just going to take the black marker and just rub it across the letters. Again, kind of laid down because you want the most surface of the brush to touch that. And these are pretty juicy. I probably don't have to do this, but a lot of times right after I do that, I go, you just take a little breather on it and stamp. Oh, I like that. I don't even think I have to do that again. I think that's very nice. Okay, I'm gonna give that a second dry because there's kind of a lot of marker, and I'm gonna clean this off and I'll be back. Cleaned up all the other bits. And the other thing, and you can do this with the alcohol ink marker or the gel pen. Oh, well, let's see. Let me grab a scrap piece of paper. And so what I would do, I'm going to go around the edges and just do some fun stuff. But, you know, I like to do like little lines like this sometimes, and it just makes it look kind of cool. You can do that with this guy. You can do it with the gel pen. You know. So, this is interesting. Even the two, you can see this one is much finer on that fine tip over here, and then the gel pen's a little bit thicker. I think I'll use the gel pen. So I'll put this one back. But this is kind of how I was working on my project with the other card, because I was just like, oh, and this, oh, maybe this, oh, I can get this one. So that was pretty cool. Again, since it's watercolor paper, it's a little bit rough, so we're not going to get perfect lines, which is not what I want anyway. Do you guys ever remember to turn your paper to do things? I don't. Like, I would have just kept going, but then I remembered, oh, that's right, you can turn your paper. You don't have to keep it in one direction. I think that looks really nice. And then, you know, if you wanted to, you can take this or that liner, the black pen, your liner, or green or whatever color, and you can go around and do all this kind of stuff. Super pretty. So just more added, you know, texture, whatever it is that you want to do to just put that little extra, I think is really nice. I think I'm good. So what I'm going to do is take one of the card bases from the kit. And if you guys want to see more of the alcohol ink markers, you know, I generally use them pretty much in all my videos. I'm always coloring something. Again, they're really nicely I would say nicely blendable. That doesn't, they blend very nicely, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let me get one of the card bases. And this is something new I've been trying to do a lot of, or trying to do, is like white on white. So like I didn't have to put this on this paper, you know, but I like that. I like that look. And even the second white piece of paper behind here, and it just looks really nice. But I'm gonna glue this down. It's still a little bit, well, no. The pastels, they stay put, and I mean, I didn't hit these with a heat tool. All I did was kind of sop up the little water that was here, so they dry pretty quickly, which is really nice. And again, then they stay there, you know, which is what you want. So I'm gonna glue this down, and you know, I'll probably pop it up on some dimensional adhesive, so I'll have some images for you guys of that. I am gonna quickly just show you a little bit about the blending, because I think I did the swatches, but I didn't show you too much about how these blend. So I'm going to stamp something in an alcohol-proof ink, and I'll be right back. I'm actually going to stamp the Santa image from the stamp set that's in the kit. And I'm going to put it down low on here, because if I go ahead and color the whole thing, I'm not going to color the whole thing right now because the video is pretty long already, but I can still use it then, right, as a focal point on a card. So I'm putting it in an area where I can just maybe do some distressing to make like a little background later. And I am using hybrid ink. I would definitely get a hybrid ink again for this set, because you take it with you just to go, and it doesn't matter if you use the water-based markers with it, the oil pastels, the alcohol ink markers. It all works out, you know. I think I missed a little piece right back here. Yep, and that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry for just a second. I'll be right back. So this is stamping card. I will have a link for it. Actually, I just sourced it. They do have it there on HSN. I think it's 200 pieces. It's from Crafter's Companion. It's a very smooth stamping card. It's thinner than their other stamping card, which is more of like a mixed media stamping card, I guess. This is really smooth, really nice. It just works. So I'm going to go in here and grab, let's say, the cherry colors, because it's Santa, so we need a lot of red. I was going to make a sleigh. I was going to say sled and sleigh, and I said sleigh. I don't know. Red, but let's work on his little hat for now. So on this time, well, I'll still use the brush tip because I prefer to use the brush tip almost always, but I'm going to go with the lightest color, and you can get in this area with the little tip. And then I'm going to go in with the darkest. And this time I will use the bullet tip side because I only want a little bit of this darkness. Right where I think there would be like a shadow, you know, like down in here. And then I'll take the medium color and just bring some of that color out. And then I'll go back over the whole thing with the light color again. And so if you're really looking at the blendability, how dark is it? Where am I? Ugh. That looks so dark to me. Sorry, I don't know where the light is to make it maybe there. It looks really smooth, you know, from one color to the next, but let's try a different color. His bag is usually also red, isn't it? But let's do blue because I love this color. So let's try out the blue. I don't know why that looks so dark. That was weird. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the light one, the lightest color. And even with the light, if you want to leave like an area that's just purely white, you can do that. And then when you come in later, it's even lighter because that blue isn't gone over twice, because I'm going to go over it again. And then I go to my darkest one, and I'll go to the side over here, and I'll do a little there, and then under his little hat, like in this area. And then I'll go to medium, also with the bullet tip, and then I'm just kind of pulling some of that out. And back to the light, and this time I'll use the brush tip again, and I'm starting in the dark area and pulling it out, and that's kind of what helps you blend, because what happens is this has, not that it has the more of the alcohol in it, but something about it, the lighter color bleaches out the darker color, so that's what helps you get your blends going. So just keep working that until you're happy. That's pretty lovely right there. And then his face is kind of small, so I was going to show you what I think I used earlier, if I recall, on my little gal. Was this color and this color. Yeah, so this is kind of a tan, but it's the neutral light and neutral medium, and that's what I used on my little doll face, but her face is so tiny you probably can't tell, so I'm just going to come in here with this neutral. He has a little mouth there, but I would do that pink. And then I'll use, oh, nope, not that side. The fine side over here, right under his little hat, adding a little shadow, and then go back to the light one again and blend it back through. And I haven't played around enough with the other ones to know, like the rose light, that's kind of a lighter tone, or maybe even the light coral. You know, you can just play around with it. So I just wanted to show you that. But I will have some pictures for you. I'll have the links. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.